Hi everyone. Hi Sagittarians. I'm reading for you your March readings and wanting to pump them out. It's March 5th, so I'm a little late and I'm sorry for that. I had a feeling I might be. I'm doing everything I can and I'm actually feeling okay with it. And the reason is because just know whenever you watch this reading, it's going to be perfectly okay. The powerful month of March, a lot of the influences in the astrological aspects and planetary aspects are not going to change much. So from the beginning to the end, it'll be pretty much the same with a couple of exceptions, of course. And I'll go over those with you. But I welcome you. My name is Marianne. I'm an intuitive psychic channeler of many years, and I absolutely love and have great passion with what I do. I also have conversations prior to each reading for each sign. It's like it's just a thing I do. We all prepare in different ways. And so I like to kind of go over things prior and just have a little bit of a meditation on the particular sign in question, which is now, like I said, Sagittarius, the beautiful fire element of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I love you. You know that. I've told you. Anybody who's ever watched me and those coming back, thank you so much for supporting my channel. One day, Sagittarius, I'm going to look and see that I've got a fair amount of Sagittarius that's watching this channel. I am in full-on mode belief of that, okay? And please let me not eat my words. But in all seriousness, I do have a format for those that are new. Welcome. Always welcome. And know that it can change a little bit because I like variety, but just the consistency will be good so you'll know what you're tuning into. First and foremost, I like to do a chakra check, or Spirit likes to do a chakra check. And that is the energy center chosen for the specific month, sometimes the week-to-week readings, which I didn't get to do this week, but I still would like to pursue. And I have a couple other things up my sleeve that I hope you'll like. It's going back naturally in a month of March that has 2 retrogrades. It's very conducive to kind of reminding ourselves of something that actually worked in the past that we'd like to bring forward. And stay tuned for that. But I start with Spirit's chakra check, which is indicating that specific energy center that is in focus for the month. And then I correlate it with a crystal that I wear around my neck to infuse the reading, which is on the floor. Bear with me one second. And then I am going to do a 6-card reading, which is going to be past, present, and future. And then I clarify that with a card per row. And then I'm going to finish with a couple of oracle messages, okay? And then I do absolutely want to just give you a heads up on the most important factors astrologically of this month, okay? Because it's so big. It's so big. And this, I don't know, I keep saying that. And this year in particular, so many changes with the planetary movements of things that haven't happened in so many years. And some maybe not as many years, but still changing. It just boom, month after month after month after month. But the most important thing about March 2025 is we are having 2 retrogrades. We've already started the Venus retrograde, and that started on the 1st. So it's just going to keep going through the 13th of April. It is in the sign of Aries that it is in retrograde. The powerful, Mars-ruled Aries. Side note, Mars actually did go direct on the 23rd of February, so it's building its momentum. I can tell, I can feel it. If you have fire in your chart at all, which of course you do, Sagittarius, because you are a fire element, you're probably starting to feel like, oh, thank goodness. Like this is March, and it feels like it's just now starting to feel a little bit normal as far as the energies go. With very good reason. Mars was retrograde for over 2.5 months, and it happens every 2 years. And now with this Venus retrograde, which is a Venus-ruled planet, right? Venus-ruled planet. It's Venus-ruled, which is a planet that actually rules Libra and Taurus. So those 2 astrological signs will definitely feel the impact. There's highlighted specifically, though, I think the main characters for the month will be Aries and Pisces, with some definite highlights of Virgo. Definitely the I want to say all the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, okay? Because cardinal signs are what bring in each season, all right? And this is going to be the month with the beautiful spring equinox happening in about a week and a half. So I'm really excited about that. And that is the beginning of the astrology year, because the very first sign of that equinox and that represents spring and of the new year of astrology is Aries, okay? Super motivated, very confident, very much, you know, a leader kind of energy, very much powerful and intense at times, you know, ruled by Mars, the aggressive planet. So a lot of Aries I've met and loved are just like, what you see is what you get. Like, there's no filters. It's so real and so childlike in a way, you know, like, really? Could you have softened that just a tad? Or, you know, my goodness. It's that, like a child, when they say things, they say anything because they mean it and they're being honest and they don't think to be anything but realistic and authentic. So I hope that makes sense. But all that's happening. And then so the two retrogrades will be the Venus that's already started and the Mercury retrograde, which it's I could barely speak even talking about it. That happens every 3 months, okay? That's not unusual. The Venus retrograde only happens every 2 years, but it'll be about 6 weeks. Both, of course, will be about reviewing, as it is more of an internalized energy, right? When a planet is going direct, it affects us, but it has a lot to do with our outer world and, you know, our activities and our relationships and all these kind of things, you know, in the outer world more so, and how it affects us. But this is inside and how we are, you know, really reviewing things and going over things with a fine-tooth comb with this length of time. When it's Venus, it's about love, it's about relationships, it's about all forms of love. It's definitely about connection, it's about money, it's about beauty. There are certain parameters that they always say to kind of keep in mind with a retrograde Venus, and that is not to necessarily go whole hog and just meet someone and go, that's it, that's the one. It could very well be, but you kind of want to wait until Venus goes direct, because we tend to see things differently after the retrograde aspect of it, okay? I mean, things can be a little nicer or more rosy or more beautiful, and then when reality hits and it's direct, you're like, whoa, I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It could also be an amazing, absolutely karmic soulmate of your life. Just don't feel pressured or rushed into figuring that out until it goes direct, like I said, on the 13th. And then there'll be a shadowy period. And I think that ends fully in May. 2 retrogrades. Okay, now we move on to the fact that we have 2 eclipses. So this is rare. We don't have this much energy and, you know, planetary aspects and lunar activity like this on a regular basis. So there's a lot of stops and starts. There's a lot of quick beginnings and endings. There's a lot of information. And I want to say very clearly that I think a lot of the people I've already spoken to and done readings for in person and whatnot have definitely already experienced a lot of what the information is. It's just, it already starts, and it always is said. You can get some of the feelings and some of the promptings and the teachings that come from all the retrogrades and all any kind of astrological impact is there to teach us and to help us to evolve and to grow. And that's the best way to look at it. Even sometimes it feels uncomfortable, or let's say, you know, when I say that eclipses bring things in quickly and take them out, it has to do with losing people in our lives. I've certainly done that during eclipses. Listen, it's not to be morbid in any way, but truthfully, no matter what age you are watching, it's one of those things where everybody and everything and every situation you're a part of or see will eventually transition and leave. You know, of course, ourselves included. Not something I dwell on, just know. And when you feel that way, it's nothing to be feared. It's something to recognize. And yes, there's sadness, of course, because we love people and we want to be with them. But when a person is older and ailing or, you know, ill and stuff, it's actually a blessing, right? The universe works for us. It's actually a positive. So, and that's certainly not going to be the case. It could be you removing yourself from a job that's worn itself out. It's had its, its life, and it's time to go to the next one, which is exciting. And we do that throughout our lives. It's releasing, friendships and things and people because they move away. And yeah, sorry to see you, but the internet, you can contact and be in touch with anybody all over the world anyway. So sometimes it's even better because I don't know, you know what I'm saying though. So always, if you can, and being a Sagittarius like you are, you have this incredible optimism kind of attitude anyway. You're ruled by Jupiter. The amazing thing too for you is that a predominance of planets are in, like I said, the key players will be Pisces, cardinal signs, other water signs too, because of Pisces, both the other Scorpio and Cancer, because that is the fellow water element. And you, especially because of Aries being a main, character, you being a fire sign, you're going to feel a lot of this too, more than an earth or even an air. But the air, if you're Libra, like I said, with the Venus aspect, that'll definitely be affecting Libras in wonderful ways and in ways that just simply need to be known and shown. Okay, so I started to tell you though that Pisces is the North Node position now, which means that there's the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo for the next 18 months because they represent the new series of eclipses. And that's one of them that we're going to be having this month. It starts on the 13th of March. It's a full moon eclipse in Virgo. Virgo representing the South Node of the dragon, if you will, is the tail. That's the release part. That's the healing of things by letting go of stuff that just isn't working. People, circumstances, everything I just discussed. And feeling really good about it. Like this is something you've been thinking about for a while. It's just now it's actually going to happen. And it doesn't, and generally when an eclipse takes something out, it's definitely done for good. I mean, memories, sure, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. You end a job, you're not going back to that job. You move out of a location, you're not going back to where you lived. Okay? That kind of thing. And the Piscean energy is also a Jupiter-ruled energy. So there's so much love with Piscean energy. There's so much heart-centered kind of, let's work together. Let us, sacrifice ourselves sometimes for the betterment of others. And by the way, I've seen that and heard that so much with these incredible things happening in the world that we all know about. I don't want to really put a huge focus on that, but the fires and things, and the devastation and how people are just coming out of the woodwork and just like, how can I help? It's absolutely beautiful. It's Piscean energy, and then, just knowing that and that being your fellow sign Sagittarius, that has to do with positivity. That's definitely a positive in your corner. Now I want to express the fact that at the end of the month is the new moon eclipse, which will be the last of the series of the Aries, North Node, Libra, South Node that we had for the past 18 months. Because it just keeps moving along to each, it always happens in pairs. It's always the polar opposition signs, that help each other, and they're always kind of engaged in some way. They're, 6 signs apart from either side, and it's just always worked that way. So much to learn, so much healing that can happen with the Piscean Virgo energy. And that's what I mentioned about this full moon. So there's going to be things you're letting go of. It's a culmination when it's a full moon. And when it's a lunar eclipse, it's like 10 times the power of full moons or new moons. So the new moon at the end of the month on the 29th in Aries is just about writing down this great, fabulous, inspired, motivated Mars moving forward, strength and confidence. Why I brought out the yellow gloves. This represents the solar plexus. It came in very strong. I'm also wearing red because that is fiery and that is your element. But no, I sense so much more confidence and power and just this feeling of, I've got this. And that's what Aries will do. And then the spring beginning new attempts to things and new people in your life. It's very exciting. the days are longer, you know, the weather starts to get warmer eventually, I pray. And, and so that's it. That's kind of the rundown. Now, take that in as we go through the rest of the reading, but just know that, lastly, there is another huge change at the end of the month on the 30th, the day after the new moon eclipse in Aries. And that's going to be that Neptune, the planet that's been in the sign of Pisces. Once again, Pisces, right? A lot of planets in Pisces. It's Pisces season. It then turns into, you know, Aries season on the 20th, 21st, ushering in spring, like I said. Lost my train of thought. I apologize. I do that quite a bit. So much to say, so much information coming through. But I guess primarily just to say that, yeah, Neptune has been in the sign of Pisces for the last 14 years. It's an outer planet that definitely affects us. Don't get me wrong. All planets affect us in different ways. It is about our imagination and our creativity and our dreams. And just when it's Aries versus Pisces, which has been like, oh, that would be wonderful. And I would love, and they dream and they imagine and they definitely manifest a lot of it. Pisces is one of the best manifestors of the zodiac, with that watery element and the emotional part that just really brings forth manifestations. But I'll tell you what, the fiery, ambitious aspect of Aries, from that would be nice to it's on and it is happening kind of energy. Can't go wrong with that, right? So that's going to be in the sign of Aries for about 3 months, a little dabble in there, going back to Pisces, and then in 2026, it'll be in the sign of Aries for 14 years. So I don't know what you have planned, Sagittarians, but I can tell you that you point your arrow, which is the glyph that represents, you know, half man, half horse. You're traveling, you're moving, you're active, you're always interested in that higher knowledge. You know, you're all about truth and justice, and you're kind and you're generous and you're funny and you're totally about freedom. You're going to put all those ducks in a row and you're going to make it happen. Every one of them. I don't know that they're going to happen exactly as you want. Please know that and don't ever anticipate that particularly or specifically. But that's the last I'll say about it. And then the cards will tell you a lot more. So the specific chakra that's needed to know, or that specifically, I love that. See? Oh, thank you, Mercury. Thank you so much for that. You really did a kind of mess up the old verbiage. It's kind of funny in ways. It's a phenomenon for sure. And Mercury also will affect the transportation. Sometimes there'll be delays if you're traveling. Don't worry. You'll get there. Everything will be fine. You got to be patient though. And definitely technology. It's taken forever to do my uploads. And that's just, and we're not even in it. We're in the shadow period. So all is well, right? You take the deep breaths and you're like, it's going to be fine. Life is too beautiful. There's too many positive things to be looking at, and many good things are coming through. I can promise you that. You have, oh, I love this, the third eye, your intuition, your psychic abilities, your knowing. That's that infusion of Piscean energy. It's going to really be very, very prominent for everybody. But because you too are Jupiter ruled in the positive elements of your life, you're going to imagine and see and feel and know, not maybe, but it is actually going to happen. It's just a knowing. Okay, I love this. Now, the correlating stone that goes with this in the third eye, and it is in fact the, no, you know something? I apologize. I've done that more than once too. This is not the third, this is the seventh, this is the crown. This is very close to that. So the upper three, which is the third eye, the crown, and then the eighth, which is the omnipotent, all-connective consciousness. You know, we're all in this together, basically. This is the one, the aspect of us that allows the downloads and the insights to come through. So you may be getting a lot more of those, which makes a lot of sense. Because when we have a lot of Pisces placements, which is representative of the 12th house, that's a lot. That's where we really are reviewing in our subconscious ways and in our dreams, prophetic dreams, you know, things that we want to, once again, eliminate that have held us back, you know, clearing the cobwebs and so forth. That's very, very key and important. So the seventh chakra, once again, the crown, and that's so funny because as I was upstairs, this is great. I reached in and I always have my crystals, but before I left, I definitely brought out the clear quartz, which is the designated crystal that is recommended for the clarity of things and those dreams and visions and intuition and psychic, prophetic, beautiful messages coming through. And I also have one in this beautiful gift set that I'm going to put inside of the necklace that I'll infuse the rest of the reading with, okay? So yeah, Spirit's always working with me. I always am asking to please give me clear and concise messages as I do my readings, as many words as may be coming out, that they come across to you and they lift you up, and they're an incentive to feel your best and to recognize your power and your gifts that you have. That's what I'm here for. I'm a messenger, yes, I'm a conduit, as are the cards, the tarot, and all the different beautiful mystical parts of life, which is part of my Marianne's mystical mention. Here we go, I'll put this in here. Anything, that has to do with metaphysical, whether it's tarot or astrology or numerology or tea leaves or, crystals, and all of them are just this powerful part. And yes, I'm still very realistic. I still go to work every day. I'm a massage therapist. I have my job and I'm very much about being on time, and I love all that, which is why I'm upset that I couldn't get all these out on time, but it'll be okay because it's about accepting too. I think the retrogrades put us in our place when we're a little bit too anal. It's like, deal with it and cope and accept. It's an accepting energy. So the words that come from both of these that I think are extremely important that you can hold tight for the whole month is the seventh chakra. And that's a divine number, 7, and a lucky number in a lot of ways, but you're divinely guided always. It says, my divine eternal knowing is seamless with the creative force, love, and the intelligence of the universe. I am the essence of love personified. Absolutely. And that's one of my oracles that I read at the end is from the Mastery of Love deck, which is just so powerful because the heart and the love that we can give to others can move mountains, and it can just, whether Venus is in retrograde or not, there's still that power of Venus. It's slowed down a little bit, or it appears to be. It's an illusion, but it's there, and it's so powerful and so beautiful. The like as I mentioned, the crystal that's associated with the crown is the clear quartz, and the words are wisdom, awareness, and focus. Focus, and that's going to be a little harder with retrogrades. It does affect that, but it doesn't mean you can't be. Please do yourself a favor and just double check emails sent out, tickets, for flights and trips and vacations and everything. You may have, like I said, delays, but you'll get there and it'll be fine. You can relax. All the re's are there. Okay, revisit, review, renew. Don't feel like you have to push something forward. Things you've already started can definitely find, their ending, and you can, just make sure you just fine tune everything. Okay, that's one of the exceptions as well. I focus with clarity on my spiritual purpose. So there's a lot of spirituality, once again, with that North Node for the next 18 months in Pisces, and you might surprise yourself how you're tuning more into that. And that's a beautiful thing, because we are spiritual beings on this planet. So hopefully you like that. That can be your mantra for the month. And I love it. I love the fact that we all have the ability to use these in the ways that work best for us. So I've also changed the deck I do every month, and this is the Cat Tarot deck, which I absolutely love. And my beautiful eclipse is right across from me, keeping this energy going, very psychic. He's a Taurus, also going to be affected by the eclipses. He was kind of loud today. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, look out. Of course, he does live with me, so I kind of, I can relate, so. But point in case is that he is a Venus ruled sign. So he too will be feeling know each other, we feel each other, we understand each other, but, you know, we're still working on a lot of the absolutes and the definitions of certain fields, right? Right, Eclipse? So I've definitely shuffled these before, but I did ask for clear and concise messages for the highest good of everybody involved. And like I said, we're going to do the past, present, and future with clarifications on all of those. And so we'll lay these down and see what Spirit has to say for you for the month of March, because there's a lot to be said and felt. And I highly recommend you write down your intentions on the new moon, especially. It's always so much more powerful. If you have crystals, definitely with both the moon, the lunar, and the solar, just recharge those, the energy in them, because it works like a charm. You put them in a little bit of water. You can put them right outside or on a ledge where the moon will, you know, facilitate the energy. It's very wonderful. It's so impactful. You'll feel it. So for you, the recent past, Sagittarians, leading to this, wow, this has come up a few times. This is the Two of Swords. You know, I love the illustrations so much. When I refer to the Rider-Waite-Smith, a lot of times it's because, you know, it has a different way of expressing the same meaning, of course, which has many meanings. There's always more than one meaning, of course, to every card. So when I get special downloads, I mention that, which may not seem like something you feel is appropriate, but it is. It truly is. Now, the Two of Swords usually is a person that has two swords, so there's decisions to be made. There's two possible routes to go about, but the swords are the energy of the air, and they are definitely all about the mind and the cerebral part, going in there, you know, sometimes ruminating too much, overthinking, confusion comes around, you know. It's definitely about thoughts and learning and growing and excelling in ways to, to learn and to express yourself and to communicate. Okay, so if you're in a crossroads of making a decision of some kind, please know this cat has his eyes closed. Usually there's a blindfold. That's to give you time to really rest into your decision and not feel pressured, especially in a month like this, because it could very well change by the end of the month and certainly the last part of the retrogrades. Trust in your ability to know and listen to your gut and your intuition. It will never lead you astray. Somebody once said, another reader that I loved as a reference that I'll use, when there's two, when you take away one, it becomes the ace. So there's much more clarity. You're heading in the right direction. You know, it is the beginning of something. It could be new and it could be a little bit concerning because you're not sure where it'll go, but who knows that? You want to go in with the feeling of it's going to be okay. It's actually exactly what it needs to be, because I'm guided and I'm loved and I feel strongly about this, okay? So whatever your choice, it's always going to be that one, with one gone, so it's less confusing. And once again, not feeling rushed, okay? And especially now. So I like that a lot for you. And like I said, it's not the first time that's come up. Moving along to the present energy, we have the Eight of... Is this Eight of Swords? Oh, I think it is. I think it might be. It's hard to say sometimes. I apologize. And this deck I've had for a long time, but sometimes I still get confused. Generally, when they're showing anything having to do with the claws, that's a sword. Whereas the wands are something different. But let me just double check to be absolutely sure, because I don't want to lead you astray. And it's right here. And then I'll know for sure the next time. But I haven't used these in a little bit. Wanted to bring them out, though, because this is also a month with the influences of Piscean energy once again, that it's not the Ace of Wands, it is the Swords, that you might be adopting an animal. There's a huge influence, either when you have something up with that, or, you know, bringing a new member in the family that is of a furry nature. Cat, dog, doesn't matter. So I like that, and that was another reason why I decided to use the Cat Tarot deck. But I just wanted to make absolutely sure and then show you that I have looked and am confirming this, but I know it's not a Wands and it's one of the two. So yes, it's the Eight of Swords. So along with this decision making, you're overthinking. Okay, even Sagittarius do that too. The fire sign, you know, or you're around a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius that's influencing the two of you. But like, well, wait a minute. Well, what about this? And you're just like, there's a lot going on. There's decisions to be made, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's worrisome. But that's what's happening. You're taking on too much, and you're kind of like thinking, whoa, what about this? What about that? Let it go. When it comes to the mind and the energy of air, it's as fleeting as the clouds, you know, and clouds are air. So I would suggest that, and I don't think it's you, to be completely honest. I think you're a part of it, but I don't think that's your nature, to be honest, as a Sagittarius. So I know you're going to be that sounding board, and I know you're going to be able to say, okay, let's just let that lie, and let's just kind of release that from our thoughts so that we can be in a calmer place, because no one really, really knows what's happening, even the best psychics of the world, you know. So just keeping that in mind in this present moment, that you're going to be that sounding board, you're going to be the one that's going to help. And that's not unusual for you anyway. So, you know, you're just like, let's look at this realistically. We're good. Okay, and answers are going to come anyway with these eclipses and stuff, so you won't have to be concerned too long, and that'll release some of that tension and those thoughts. But I always also say drop down to the heart, go from the mind to the heart, because of this Piscean energy, which is all heart, you know, watery and sensitivity and everything. It's like, yeah, it's going to be good. I'm being guided, I'm being watched, I'm loved. Okay, your future, the moon. Of course, major arcana, confusion, not completely knowing, but that is the eclipses. I feel like this is more of the newer moon, but it looks like an eclipse because you got both. How perfect is that? Now the moon can be, you know, it's a lunar effect, right? So we feel it, we see it. There's a gravitational pull, and the full moon, like I said, is going to shine a light on something that you may not have specifically all the details about, but you will. And when that happens, it culminates, it releases the pressure, it releases the tension, it shows you the truth, it shows you the guidance, and that's beautiful, especially in Virgo, because it's a healing energy. It's a way to release things that are not working, and cleansing and clearing. So I really, really love this. Don't be discouraged about not knowing every answer this second. It's okay. It's going to be great. Believe that, all right? And you'll work and deal with anything anyway, because that's how you are. You're just like, okay, we'll make it work. So, and with that Aries energy, you know, influencing, which is a positive for you, it's a trine, you know, that's when it works together. It's fantastic. Let us clarify this now. The decision, you know, like, I'm not sure yet. Don't feel rushed. You have, oh my goodness, you have is that the 9? I think it is, yeah. The 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. 9 of Swords. So you're bringing in worries. You're thinking, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What if this happens? What if that happens, right? Or if it's not you, like I said, there's somebody very close in your presence. And I think it's a relationship, because Venus retrograde brings in our relationship potentials and, you know, issues, and it's predominant at this time. So I just feel like, you know, there's concerns and there's things that need to be worked through, but I honestly know, and I'm feeling it's going to come out really well. The best thing you can do in the time of retrograde and with eclipses that are going to show you anyway, sit tight. Do your normal, you know, routines, do what you got to do. Don't try to project, and be there for that person, calm them down whenever possible. It could be hormonal. I mean, who knows? There's so many things, right? Being that sounding board, once again, is coming through. This is a fear card. All those things are quick. They don't last. It's also air. So, yeah, I'll put that there. That's been mentioned a few times. So then the present and the, let me double check this. Yeah, 9 of Swords, this is the 8. Okay. So it's kind of interesting. There's a sequence there too. Clarifying the 8 with the worries and the fears. You have the 6 of Cups, okay? So I understand now. Here's that emotion. Here's going from the head to the heart. When we have retrogrades, we reminisce and we kind of go back to, oh, but what about, remember when it was like this, and now we're facing these changes, we're growing up, we're taking on more responsibility, we're buying a house, we're changing jobs, we're responsible for so much, right? And you're just kind of feeling like, I get this feeling so strongly. It's one of those things where you're like, I'm so happy about the changes. I love my partner. I'm there for her or him. Obviously, it doesn't matter what the gender. But there's people coming back from your past. There's memories that are really coming up to the surface. That's the 12th house again. The undoing, the sabotage kind of thing we can do, but also dreams, very prophetic dreams and messages. And just, I don't know, 6 is actually, and I've been thinking all along, and I remember so clearly hearing that 6 is representing the planet Venus. But then I also recently heard that 6 is the house that Virgo's in, which is the first full moon eclipse on the 13th. So yeah, just the balancing, the memories, the people coming back into your life and thinking, wow, I haven't thought about that person, or it's just a sentimental thing. It can be very, very happy too. One of those bittersweet things, like, wow, maybe you lost somebody, like I said, and you're like thinking about them and you're like, oh, I wish they could be here to experience these phenomenal times in life, right? So there's that. Moving on to the moon and the clarification there. King of Cups. Once again, full-hearted energy, but this is even better because this is the king. This is the king. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. The ability to handle and accept your emotions and not feel like you're being torn apart or anything. You've got this. The moon can shine lights on things and it can have the shadowy parts that we don't quite understand, but you're feeling incredibly filled. You're feeling fulfilled. You feel the love. You feel the protection. You feel good inside and out. I knew there would be something to help weigh and balance this. And I love it. So there's 2 emotional cards, of course. That's going to happen with any moon. I find myself crying over commercials and stuff. I'm just like, what is happening right now? The King of Cups. This is the Pisceans, the Scorpio, and the Cancers. So there could be placements in both your sign, your your partner signs that have to do with that too, with water. And, there's nothing better than a great cry that's from happiness or sadness, either one. It's such a cleansing, purging kind of energy. But that is the reading, Sagittarius. And I'm going to finish, like I said, with a couple oracles to kind of culminate the reading. I would just say that, when you get these thoughts, or if it's not you, like I said, you could have it in your chart as well. But I think it's somebody you're with and somebody you're helping that is here right now. And it's going to be great because they really need that from you. You have that optimism. You have that sounding board. Like I said, your fire, your strength. People need that, Sometimes we have our weak moments, and that's okay. But I'm just saying you're going to come in really handy by presenting the united front and all those wonderful things, but also just like holding into each other's arms and saying, yeah, we got this. I know it's a little strange. We don't have all the answers, but it's going to be okay. And so your 3, I'm going to pull 3 messages for the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reader, Milk and Honey with the beautiful rainbow. I'm telling you, there's so much positivity that happens when we work through things, when we finally get some answers that we've been mulling around and we don't really have answers to, because we all need answers as humans, don't we? Gotta have them as soon as possible. You do need to be patient, though, and this is fantastic. A happy ending, the pot of gold, the richness of life. It's a 6. There you go. Balancing, and just feeling really content as the King of Cups. Then we have soulmates. Oh, see, this is definitely, this partnership is really so important. And, you know, sometimes you may be down and your partner will be there for you, but I think you're really the sounding board, like I said right now, Sagittarians, and thank you for that. I love my Sagittarians friends and people. They've been very useful for making me laugh. And that's a 5. That's change and transformation, right? So you're going through it together. You're walking through it together because you're meant to be, and there's a key. The key to a new life, new opportunity is there. It's right there in front of you. And it's just a matter of waiting and just a few more weeks to see it in its fullness, okay? And lastly, serendipity. Oh, look at that 4-leaf clover. Well, it is St. Patrick's Day this month too, for those that celebrate that. I always forget to mention that. And I love it. And I'm always looking for that 4-leaf clover in my backyard. Haven't found it yet, but I feel like I will. And you can metaphorically imagine that in your life, okay? Because good things are coming. Believe it and you do achieve it. You know that saying. Things are going to happen. It's a 9. It's a 9-year. It is the culmination. It's the finishing. To start the new. Whatever was, isn't, and won't be. And that's a constant in our lives, okay? So that's nothing to fear at all. That's actually welcome. I think you already absolutely know, a lot of you, exactly what I'm talking about. It's already been transforming for you. There's just, you know, different steps and things that have to be waited on because the universe has different ways and approaches to, you know, to fulfill our dreams. Finishing with your beautiful Mastery of Love card, and I read to you what it says because they're all absolutely beautiful. And thank you for stopping and watching because, like I said, I know you're busy and I appreciate your time so much. The best thing you can do for me is to like or subscribe. Love my little pillow over there. And help me support this channel because my goal and my passion is to continue to read for the rest of my life as I retire from my massage job in the next year or so, and just fully devote myself to something that I've loved and continue to do forever. So I need 1,000 subscribers, and the only way that's going to happen is through you. And it's free and it's beautiful, and I'm done. I'm only going to say that. I appreciate it greatly, and I definitely appreciate the support I've gotten this far. And I will pick for you this one right off the top. It says, accept others the way they are. Well, I don't think that's anything you need to be told completely. I mean that sincerely. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions, but what a beautiful picture. It's a dog with a beautiful heart and wings. And there's another reference to an animal, so don't be surprised. That may be a furry animal enter your life this month. That'll change your life forever too, right? You cannot change other people. To try to change them to fit what you want them to be is like trying to change a dog into a cat or a cat into a horse. Interesting reference, as you represent half man, half horse. They are what they are. You are what you are. Simply put, I love that. But when you do that, you are actually accepting and allowing what is. And that's just a beautiful thing to do. It makes your life a whole lot easier, right? Thank you for your time. Enjoy March. It's a big one. I would love for you to give me some feedback. And be well. Open that heart. Thank you. Take good care. Bye for now.